What's up all you wonderful people out there, James here, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the JBL ProFlora Bio 160 CO2 system. I've done a review on a JBL CO2 system, one of the budget ones, the Bio 80 Eco CO2. It was one of the first ever videos that I did. So go and check that out. I'll leave a link in the top corner there and in the description so you can see what that one's like. But this one is a bit more of an upgraded version to the bottle that you get. Yeah, should be good fun. And also this product was gifted to me by JBL to try out, so massive thanks for that. And let's get to it and have a look at this system. So this is the kit. Let's take a look inside and see what we get. So we get the refills here, which are the CO2 is how it's made. It's a concoction of a few different powdered solutions which you mix together, and that's what generates the CO2. So this is not like a gas-filled cylinder. This is a product which you mix together and add water, and then after a little while it generates carbon dioxide. So looks like in the pack you get two lots of refills, which is cool. We've got the manual here, which tells you all about setting it up. This one actually comes with a CO2 reactor. It's like a bubble counter slash diffuser all in one. So it'd be interesting to try this out as opposed to the air stone that you get on the Bio 80 Eco one. And again, here's the actual canister itself. And looks like it actually comes with a holder, this one, so instead of having the bottle just sort of sitting next to it, you can place it into your canister and hang it on the wall or wherever you need it to. And also it's a valve, I think it is, on the, don't know, yeah, a valve, I think. As you can see, this is my planted aquarium. I did have lots of plants in here and I did a video on that not so long back, so definitely go and check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description. But as you can see here, right around the side, there's the Bio 80 CO2 system. It's just a bottle that gets fed by an airline tube into the aquarium, and you can see right now I'm getting some CO2 into my aquarium. So this system is pretty much the same, it's just for a bigger scale, I think it is, more than anything else, so it can last longer. To my knowledge, 80 days, so it should be interesting to see that. Ultimately, my plan with this new system is to add it to this aquarium, and then what I'm going to do is take the Bio 80 Eco and add it to one of my other aquariums and see how we go in a different tank. It'd be interesting to see. I've always had this CO2 in this tank, and I've been getting pretty decent results from it. So it'd be interesting to see how well my other tanks cope with the CO2 too. And also I've got different plants in them one, so that should be interesting as well. This is the diffuser. It's a bit of a hench beast, this one, compared to the other one, so it'd be interesting to see how well this works or how different it is. Obviously you get a black pipe, or hose, airline hose, which isn't great cosmetically. It'd be good if these were see-through, just so they don't look as much of an eyesore in your aquarium. So to my knowledge, you add the, this is like a two-way valve to stop water from getting back into the system. So I just need to cut a hole in the aquarium, in the hose, and then add this to it and then connect it to the bottle. So just another perk to this bottle compared to the other one is that it has a screw top, so you can keep the airline hose in front instead of it popping out, which is different to the other one, because the other one you just pop on. Yep, so what you do is then add that, and then the bigger side goes towards the CO2 system. And the smaller side goes to the diffuser. Pretty easy to add in. Job done. In terms of adding the CO2, all you need to do is two things. One, you add the solution A to the bottle first, and then you add the solution B to the bottle afterwards. Then add some water up to the line that's on the aquarium, on the bottle here, right there. I'm going to give it a good shake and then just let the magic happen. Usually this takes a few hours to start to get the CO2 going, so don't expect anything to happen straight away, but after a little while, like I said, a few hours, come back to it and you should start to see bubbles appearing in your aquarium. So as this pack is a 80-day one, what that means is, because I was wondering this when I got the kit actually, is how did they do it longer by using the same solution packs, the refill packs, because you can buy these just on Amazon or a lot of online retailers and that. Add them both together and yeah, so what actually happens is that they give you 2 bags, so each bag is 40 days, so obviously adding 2 of those is going to take the solution, the solution's going to last longer. So I think that's what the idea of it is anyway, is instead of like having something that's lasting longer. I thought it was a big bottle, you add more water to it, maybe that makes it last longer, but yeah, it turns out that you just add 2 40-day bags to the bottle, and that's how you get the longer length out of it. So yeah, what you do, add the powdered solution to the bottle. Obviously there is a lot of DIY home kits that use sort of sodium and different ways of doing that, where you mix bicarbonate soda, I think it is, with water and a few other bits and pieces, and that causes the same sort of reaction. But obviously this is just a powdered solution which JBL has created themselves, and that's how they do it in this system. So again, we just add the second lot of solution to the bottle. And then you add the solution B to it as well. Please excuse the crying baby if you can hear her in the background. That's my 2-month-old daughter, and yeah, currently she is decided to be awake during this video just to say hi to everybody, so apologies if you can hear her. So both solutions are added into it, and then all we do is just add water to top it off, give it a shake, and then we'll get the diffuser into the aquarium. So once you've got the solution in, you add water to it and give it a good shake for a little while, and then after 48 hours you should start to see bubbles rising through the CO2 system. So yeah, you have to get it really going. So don't be worried that the lid will pop off, because it's not causing that much of a gas reaction yet, so you should be fine for a little while. But yeah, that's all you need to do, and then your system's ready to go. So let's get it into the aquarium and see how we go with it. So that's it in terms of setup and adding to the aquarium. As you can see, it is a bit of a beast, this diffuser in here, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of results I get with it. At the moment I'm feeling it is a bit of an eyesore, but if it does the job, then great. Hopefully I can hide it behind the plants or something, or as they grow in. I don't know, it's going to be really difficult. But one thing to know with diffusers is that when you're placing them in an aquarium, you're best putting them as close to a flow as possible. So if you have a filter, the outtake from that, it would be best to put it near there so it can try and float the bubbles around the aquarium. If not, they sort of fizz up and sort of stay in one section. So you'll probably notice that you're getting great plant growth in one side of the aquarium but not the other. So it's just one tip to know for when you add these to your aquarium. As I said, the diffuser takes about 48 hours to get going. I think I said that earlier, but if I haven't, 48 hours. What I'm going to do now is leave it for a couple of weeks and we'll check back in and see how we're getting on and sort of my impressions of this system after a few weeks' time. Alright, so this is day 3 of setting this up, and still no CO2 popping out. Manual says that it can take up to 48 hours to get there, and nothing. So it turns out actually what it might be is the length of cable or tubing going to the diffuser here. I think it's just too much because when you shake the hose around a little bit, loads of bubbles started coming through to the diffuser. So I think that might be what is making it not pop at the moment. So what I'm going to do is cut the tubing a little bit just to make it a bit more narrower to where I need it and see if that fixes the problem. So there you can see I made the hose a little bit smaller now. So I'll have to probably give it a couple of hours as I've released the pressure from the tubing by just opening it or undoing this valve bit here. So I just got to wait for the pressure to build up in the system again before the bubbles will start appearing, but hopefully that's done the trick. So one thing that I've helpfully noticed in the manual is a little bit of a oh dear moment, because it says here that the second refill that you get in the set isn't intended as a refill only. So it looks like you're only supposed to put one of the contents into the canister at one time. Being that this says 80 days, I thought that the actual canister meant that you could fill it with 80 days worth of solution. I kind of thought that was the idea of going for a bigger system, so it seems to be a bit of a letdown, to be honest. I have no idea if this is now going to work. It could be why I've been having so many problems, but if that is the case, then this system might not work and I might have to purchase myself a refill pack. So a little bit gutted there. Just a quick update on the diffuser. So I figured out that it wasn't going to work with both of the solutions in, like I've sort of unfortunately found out. So I emptied half of the solution out into the sink and then just added some more water. And it's been a couple of days now and it seems to be working again now, which is really good. We're currently running at about 4 bubbles per minute. So yeah, let's just be interesting to see how well this works now and if there's, you know, any improvement to my plants. It's been around 10 days now since installing the CO2 system here, this diffuser, and I am a bit of a realist and I like to give a honest opinion. So far this diffuser is not the best, I must admit. As you can see in here, it just gathers dirt like crazy and it causes some of the bubbles to get stuck and pop before they even reach the top. Another thing I've noticed is you have to have this diffuser like dead straight, or the bubbles don't come out of the top. Now, somebody told me that they thought I might be doing this wrong, and they said that maybe there should be another hose that comes out of this to a diffuser. But when I've checked the manual, there's no mention of a diffuser with this particular model. As I've read, this is a standalone diffuser, so the bubbles build up in this chamber here, and then after a little while, one big bubble pops to the top, and then once it pops, it sort of diffuses a few little bubbles. But yeah, I'm going to give it a little while longer because I like to give a extensive review. I don't like to give like first impressions too much, and I want it to be a fair opinion, so I'm going to give it another week or two and see how we go, and then we'll check back in and see my final thoughts. So it's been almost 4 weeks now since installing the CO2 system, and yeah, I just want to give my thoughts and feedback really on how the system is performing and what I like about it and what I don't really. So in terms of performance, as with any of these sort of mixture systems, you can't control the amount of CO2 that's being pushed into the tank, so the pressure that builds up in the bottle is what you get. So it can't, I would say that it can't be used on massive aquariums. This is more for your smaller sort of 80 litres max, I would say, probably aquariums, and anything below. Obviously you can't switch it off because it doesn't have a valve to turn off the system, so just be mindful that when running this at night time, plants don't uptake CO2 during the night. When the lights are off, they release more carbon dioxide, so it means that you're putting more carbon dioxide into your aquarium. Now, I found from my experience that it's not caused me any problems because I have good surface agitation, so as long as you've got that, this system will work absolutely fine. I've not had any deaths or anything to my livestock, or seen any fish at the top of the surface breathing or anything like that, so you can run these systems perfectly fine without the need of controlling the amount of CO2 that's put into the aquarium. Having said that, in terms of this specific version of this system, I just don't see kind of the reason for it really. It advertises on the box that you can get 80 days out of it, and it's actually a bit of false information because you can only put one sachet into the system at a time, and then, you know, that would be your first 40 days, and then obviously the second sachet that you put in is the next 40 days. And for that reason, I think that you are probably best off going with one of the previous models, which is the Bio 80 systems. Now there's two versions of that. One is one that I've reviewed on a previous video, so I'll leave a link in the description for that, and that system is really basic. You just get a bottle, it's the eco version, so you get a little plastic bottle, and it comes with like an air stone kind of thing that's attached to a airline tubing, and that's it, and you get the mix. And there is one above that which is called the Bio 80, just a normal Bio 80, and that, I believe, you get a diffuser and you get pretty much all the equipment besides the fancy bulky diffuser that you get on this one. You know, so it's exactly the same kind of product, so that might be better because you actually get a diffuser with it. So going back to this one, I think probably one of the things that puts me off this system the most is the bottle's fine. I quite like how well built that is. You get a check valve on it as well, so you know you don't have any water going back into the bottle. It's more just the actual diffuser itself. It took me so long to get this thing to work, and if you have it at an angle or any sort of misplaced, the bubbles don't seem to go out of the top very well. They don't get released, and they sort of build up inside the bubble maker. Someone tried to point out that you might, you know, add an airline tube into a diffuser, but looking through the manuals, I couldn't see anything like that. I think I mentioned that previously. the actual diffuser itself as well gathers so much dirt, and some of the bubbles don't often get to the top of the system, so you've got to make sure that you've got a really clean and pristine aquarium to run this sort of thing in. And let's be realistic, most of our aquariums probably have a lot of dirt kicking up, unless we've got like insane filters running or something that's way overkill for the size of the aquarium. I haven't. Mine is just a standard internal filter that comes with this this aquarium, so you know there is build up in the system. It's also really bulky as well, so it kind of is a bit of an eyesore, and that sort of puts me off. Now on my previous Bio 80 Eco CO2 system, I've got the bottle that's just a normal plastic bottle, as I mentioned, and I actually replaced the air stein on that recently with a diffuser, so I'll just try and get some video footage of that just so you can see, but that works so much better with a diffuser. Now again, it's not as powerful as a compressed CO2 system, because you can push out more CO2 into the aquarium at one time, but at least it diffuses the bubbles. Now that's something that this system does differently to, say, the previous Bio 80, the Eco one. It released really fine bubbles, yet this one just pushes like a cannon, like one big bubble to the surface of the aquarium and then bursts. Now with CO2, you want to make sure that the bubbles are trying to be as fine and as small as possible, and give them the opportunity to circulate around the aquarium. Once they reach the top, they pop, and then you kind of lose all the carbon dioxide there at the surface. So you want to keep the bubbles floating around so then the plants can uptake that. And I find that this system obviously doesn't do that, so that might be a downfall for it. As I said, you're probably best off going for the Bio 80 version of this, which is exactly the same bottle, same mix that you get in it. You get the valve, but you don't get the big bulky diffuser. Instead you get a small minor diffuser. Now I haven't tested that product, but I'm pretty sure that that would be so much better than what this is. So it's just my honest view really on it and my findings, you know, in terms of the actual product really. So yeah. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you could hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out. I'd just like to say again, thanks to JBL for gifting me the product to test out. As always, it's great fun trying new products and letting you know what my honest, open opinions are about them. So I hope you enjoyed that too. And until next time, you stay safe.